Hey, everybody, this is Purge, and I'm proud to present you guys this awesome game from the West International Qualifier, mTw versus Virtus.Pro. This is for the international guys. It's going to be a best of three. There's three more best of threes going on today, and whoever ends up taking the win here gets an invite. I'm here with Memoria. How you doing, man?
Hey Purge, hello everyone, great to be here. Very excited for this game.
And I'm sure some of you guys are wondering who the hell is Memoria. He's one of my old Dota friends who used to play Dota 1 all the time back in the day. And I had a little bit of trouble finding a co-caster, so it's you. You win.
Awesome, woohoo!
You are the first person in the very limited race, which is absolutely fine. But we're pretty excited to see how all the teams do. mTw is arguably one of the teams to win it. A lot of people are saying probably mTw or Quantic have the best shot. What do you think about the subject?
Favorites for the West qualifiers.
Mm-hmm.
I know that MPW has enjoyed really good form over the past 3 or 4 weeks. Quantic, you have some other teams out there which are very, very talented. Although when you look at just the players, just the 5-man roster of Virtus.Pro, it's quite scary. The likes of NS, Dread, Kuroki, extremely talented players. Just to see if they can perform well together as a team is what we need to look forward to.
And keep in mind, guys, that Virtus.Pro actually has two possible stand-ins today. Blow Your Brain as well as Scandal are both on Team Empire, so we're actually missing Dread as well as Azen, which everybody's pretty surprised about. They're like, wait, this is the international qualifier and you have two stand-ins? Like, what are you thinking? So I assume they're probably just busy. It's pretty early, a lot earlier than matches are normally played, so currently on Central European summertime, it's like 3 p.m. or something. And what is today? I don't even know what day it is. Is it Saturday or something? No, it's probably like the middle of the
It's
week.
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. I have no idea what day it is. It's Wednesday at
That's
3
fine.
p.m. So some of them might be at jobs or something like that. So, wow, fast picking. So Darkseer is banned. That hero is super annoying to play against. Broodmother, Queen of Pain, and then we have a Lycan, Nature's Prophet, and a Chen all banned out of the pool. First pick was an Invoker though, so Synderen is most likely going to be playing that hero.
Um, Definitely. And one thing about Synderen, I believe some commentators have mentioned it in the past, is that he absolutely dislikes the Broodmother. You will see him ban it out almost every game. It's just that Broodmother offers such a strategical advantage. You can pretty much make your enemy dance to your tunes, send a hero in that lane to push you back. Very frightening hero in the right hands.
Yeah, it's definitely not fun to play against. Virtus.Pro goes for kind of similar heroes, heavy pushers. They have a Enchantress as well as a Leshrac. With those two comboed up in the same lane, you can tank towers and then do damage to the towers as well with that Edict. So it gives Virtus.Pro a lot of pushing possibilities in the early game. They have to be slightly worried about their Enchantress possibly getting behind, but as long as they play well, do some nice ganks up, all of the lanes of mTw are going to have to be very careful. And that includes heroes like Windrunner or even Enigma, Invoker. Whoever ends up soloing the top lane, has to be very, very careful about some backstab Enchantress ganks.
Definitely. And since we see an Invoker and a Windrunner picked up, I guess it's safe to say that the Windrunner is going to be going in the long lane, while the Invoker solos mid. We might have Enigma convert a creep to give him a little bit of advantage starting off.
Yeah, that might help a little bit. It kind of depends. Do they really want to be predictable though? Is the real question. A lot of lane
Right.
dancing has been common lately in some of the teams. So, and since laning is so important, guys, if you lose your laning stage, it's so much harder to win the middle of the game. So, very
Definitely.
important that you have favorable lanes.
Um, Beastmaster, great pickup. Beastmaster is a very good hero to have against an Enigma, stopping the ult as well as clearing the Eidolons with axes. And once Enigma gets a Blink Dagger, even having that Hawk up to scout his initiation can be very important.
Yeah, that hawk is so valuable towards making sure that your team always has perfect initiations, good stuff like that. Keep in mind that that's also the Dire team's Beastmaster, so one of the nice benefits of being on the Dire team is you can actually go towards that bot lane, you can use a Soul Ring to stack up Ancients and eventually just kill those. So it kind of depends on the player. Some players like to go Soul Ring, so I've seen Light of Heaven go for like an Urn Medallion in a bottle, and then just get his mana regen that way. He just stacks up those Ancients, eventually clears them and gets a lot of gold and experience from that. It's a big, big gold boost.
I think 3 levels from 6 camps or something like that. The last time I saw it happen,
Really?
the last time I saw Light of Heaven do it, um, it was a lot of neutrals, a lot of ancients, not just neutrals. Great.
It's a really good way to catch up your gold big time. So,
Syllabear ban. That would fit perfectly into mPw's lineup. Also, Syllabear is one of those heroes that you really just don't want to play against. It takes so much to bring him down, and especially when you have heroes like Leshrac and Enchantress who are, well, Leshrac, you don't want the bear to tank up all the Edict damage, especially in early game engagements or mid-game fights.
Yeah, that's a really good point. A lot of teams have been drafting Lone Druid a lot lately as well, so it makes total sense that he would get banned here. They're a little bit worried about pushing at the moment. Currently, Virtus.Pro definitely has an advantage there. mTw does have Eidolons, but that's pretty much limited to them at the moment. So their lanes are looking okay, but they really need to fill in the gaps with some ganking heroes. I think something like maybe a Crystal Maiden would be nice for their lineup. They're looking for possibly a hard carry as well. But Anti-Mage's out of the pool, Lone Druid is gone, and now Storm is banned by mTw.
If you take a look at mTw's bans, those last 3 bans are just shutting down all the mobility available. Queen of Pain, Anti-Mage, and Storm. Those are probably the 3 most mobile heroes, mobile carries or semi-carries that are played right now. And that's I'm very impressed by these bans, especially because I think Radiant is much more mobile. At least the 3 picks right now are quite mobile compared to the Dyers.
That's a really good point. Unless they get Blink Daggers, of course. But I don't expect to see a Blink on Leshrac. Usually people just completely focus on tank. They say, I'm not going to get a Force Staff, I'm not going to get a Blink. I just want BKB, Bloodstone, maybe an Aghanims if I'm really rich.
I guess rushing the Arcane Boots into the Bloodstone is the best way to go in most situations. In some cases, you might want to pick up a BKB before that.
Yeah,
but even Rexar and Leshrac don't always end up rushing a Blink Dagger, so shutting down the enemy team's mobility can really get you a lot of map control, win fights, etc. Especially when you have the Hawk for scouting purposes. If they do have a lot of mobility, you can get caught off really easily. Shadow Demon ban, that's a great ban, I feel.
Yeah, the disable and just the survivability provides your allies. Somebody gets roared, you just disrupt them and it burns all that stun cooldown or stun duration while it's on top of them. That alone is super useful.
Exactly, and just the fact that Shadow Demon is one of those heroes who can be so useful throughout the game. The Soul Catcher doesn't really require you to be extremely item dependent. You can dish out large amounts of damage even without having too many items. A very good roaming hero, good in early game ganks. Good in team fights as well.
Yeah.
Not as good as some other supports in team fights maybe, but Disruption is a great spell.
Yeah, it totally is. I hoping to see that Earthshaker does well. It's always fun to see his difference. His early game is always kind of weakish until he gets that Blink Dagger, but once he gets the Blink, he's a very dangerous force. Arguably more than a hero like Sand King even, because you're obviously chain stunning people for 3 to 4.5 seconds or so if you do all your aftershocks correctly. So can definitely be a very strong hero when drafted correctly, but hasn't been very popular, and they're going to go for an Earthshaker Tinker. So
I love watching Tinker. That's awesome. Tinker is going to be a great pick. You don't really see too much push, except for the Leshrac and the Enchantress creeps so far. Lich does not... Well, Frost Armor can be a very good pushing skill, and I think a few games ago I was watching a Darer game where I saw Artstyle level Frost Armor first to help in a push. Now, except for those freak situations, or those, I shouldn't say freak situations, rather, but those strategies, if usually Liches end up going Dark Ritual, denying the creep wave, might not see him contribute too much to a push very soon. But regardless, it would cut off a lot of farm from the Tinker maybe at mid. I'm curious to see how Virtus.Pro lane this.
Yeah, I think they're kind of a weird spot. Unless they grab like a Sand King right now and duel it with the Leshrac and try to shut down
It's
Tinker,
a Lich Void mid. It's going to be Lich and Void mid. That's going to be amazing. Well, the Void's going to get a lot of... Well, he would hope to get a lot of farm in that lane against an Invoker, I guess.
Yeah, perhaps. I think Virtus.Pro is going to have a lot of trouble against that Tinker, though. We're going to see Missile spam, Enchantress has very low HP, Leshrac early has very low HP, and Lich the same. So they actually have 3 pretty squishy heroes, at least for the first 15 minutes of the game. And that might be a huge problem if mTw can get a lot of ganks off, or their pushes are going to be tough later as well, because we all know how nasty March of the Machines is against pushes.
Now here is how I picture Radiant laning this. I guess Earthshaker and Tinker are going to head towards the bot lane. Tinker is going to get a bit of support. and Earthshaker is just going to scare people off him while he CS's. Windrunner is going to be heading top, I presume, while Enigma jungles it up with Invoker mid. Now the reason I don't really agree 100% with these, well, the picks are good, and that's the only way to lane this, in my opinion, but it puts them at a slight, it puts them on the defensive a little bit. Enigma is going to be in the jungle. Tinker and Earthshaker does have a lot of killing power, but I just feel that they lack the offensive supports that you usually see. So getting kills in the first 5 minutes of the game is going to be crucial.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough for mTw to do that. But I think the Tinker Earthshaker definitely has a lot of possibility to get kills, though, if they're not paying attention.
Especially with the Sunstrike coming in, too.
That's very true. They're going to have a stun. It's not going to be a lot of stun duration, so they're going to have to coordinate very, very well. Keep in mind that Sunstrike is like 1.7 delay.
Fisher is 1.
Very short. It's 1.75 max level, and I can guarantee you that it's going to be a while till he hits 7, so...
Right.
It's going to be very tough to coordinate that. A lot harder than a typical support like a Sand King or something like that, which people almost always couple with that Invoker.
Yes. Although, I'm guessing communication-wise, mTw has never failed to impress me. Alright, we'll
go over some players quick. For the Radiant team, we have Funzy playing Windrunner. We have Synderen on Invoker. Kabap playing Earthshaker. Effing Mad on Enigma. And finally, Shakska playing Tinker.
Alright, on the dire side, we have Scandal on the Leshrac on top lane. We have Kuroki playing Void going mid. We see NS on the Enchantress going into the dire jungle. And Santa on Blow Your Brain, I'm sorry, is on the Lich in the bot long lane. And am I missing someone? Yes, Santa is going to be playing the Beastmaster going along with that Lich. I predict that Blow Your Brain is going to deny a creep and go over mid to support the Void. And that's exactly what he does.
Extra battle points. Thank you, AC. Helping the game out. You can't draw on the map, by the way. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, AC. If you hold control and then left click drag on the map, or on the screen, actually, you can draw right on the game. It's awesome.
Alright. I'll use that.
Give it a shot. I mean, it's just for your own pleasure. Nobody's going to be able to see it, but it's beautiful. It's really fun. Alright, Synderen is up mid. He's got the Uxor levels. He's up against that Faces Void Lich, who will continue to harass. As soon as Lich hits 2, that's when things start getting a little harder for Synderen. But on the bright side, Kuroki does not have a Stout Shield, so any harass he takes can definitely do damage. We have Funzy on the top lane. He's up against that Leshrac, so it looks like they're in a solo versus solo situation. A slight lane advantage to Scandal here. Leshrac, the nukes obviously do go through Windrun, so if you can land the disables and trade pretty evenly with ranged attacks, it can be in Leshrac's favor generally. Bot lane, Shakska starting things off with some rockets. He's level 1 currently. Santa playing it very, very safe, has gotten 0 EXP and actually saving a lot of money, possibly going for a fast bottle. I'm not quite sure, as we do see a fissure on Kuroki. He's in a bad spot here. He's going to time walk away, but kind of had bad padding there as he takes 1-2 hit Sunstrike. It's going to get dodged by him, and he pops himself. Great position by Kuroki, totally playing ahead.
Yep, good movement there by Kuroki, expecting the Sunstrike and just making the most out of his healing salve over there. We see Enchantress and River going towards the top lane, trying to backstab Funzy. Can NS pull this off?
It's going to be tough to catch up to him. He's actually going to get behind. I can't believe it. Here's the first stun. Clap afterwards. Follow-up stun. Huge mistake by Funzy. First blood goes down. He definitely should have noticed that. That was daytime. And if we look at his... I guess he just simply actually doesn't have vision. There was a little bit of a sliver here that he could have spotted.
Props to NS. People don't really... players, even top players, don't really expect you to come straight to the river because it's so ballsy. It's so daring. Great gank by NS. Picks up a kill on Funzy.
Yeah.
That should set him back quite a bit and allow Leshrac a little bit more room to farm.
And you didn't even have to use a smoke for that, for the record.
Yes, that's quite a big deal because the smoke does go on cooldown after a while. Lich picks up a regen rune.
He's a little worried about Synderen right now. I was thinking about fighting, but he's not going to get fissure blocked off. And he does have that Frost Blast now, so he can totally harass if needed. Kuroki up to 600 gold, so most likely is going for that Ring of Health first. It's going to be very important toward denying harass here. But he is taking some decent damage. Synderen at 5-1, 5-1, Kuroki at 9-4 currently. But he is completely out of regen.
I had incorrectly predicted the Earthshaker to be at bottom lane, but good adjustment by mTw, placing him mid to counter the dual mid.
Yeah, throwing that extra stun would be nice. Yeah, yeah, up against Santa, yeah, it'll be fine. He's level 3. He actually went for boots pretty fast here, saved up some money. He is stacking with his boar right now, so that is going to give him some good farming potential later. Tangos are past the void, though.
That is quite a Fissure on Kuroki, and nice time walk to get on the other side of the Fissure. Kuroki survives.
Yeah, good thing they actually have a position here. Well, I guess pretty much anyone they would have drafted would have had the same tools. It would have been a Morphling or a Void or an Anti-Mage or something like that, so not too unexpected.
NS is just getting a bit of experience in the dire jungle. Already
you have trouble saying it, don't you?
Yeah, I'm so used to the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to gather my thoughts before I say Radiant and Dire each and every time.
Yeah, it took me about a month or so to stop making that mistake.
And NS, attempt number 2. Can he pull it off this time? And he sees him, and the Windrunner gets popped, and Funzy escapes.
He does have boots anyway, so either way, this is going to give Scandal a little bit of free farm. Look at this, he's already up to level 5, that's crazy. So 3 levels of Edict now. They are going to enchant on Funzy. They know Windrun is still on cooldown. If they get the stun off, it could be Funzy's death, and the stun is going to be a little bit late, and he Windruns again. Wow, that was close. Picks up the Centaur as well, so a little bit EXP, and NS actually taking a decent amount of damage from the tower, so their gank is going to be failed, but at the very least they did force him back, as, oh, I love what Scandal's doing here. He's just waiting to come through, and he's looking for the stun. Yeah. Oh, nothing.
Oh, just barely misses.
That would have been a huge stun. He could have killed Funzy there, guys. At this point, Edict is extremely powerful. 3 levels, just absolutely eats through Windrunner. If he catches her solo, it's a dead kill, unless she can get outside of range with Windrunners. We do see a Sunstrike. It does land a Kuroki, no backtrack for him. Taking a bunch of damage. He does have his Ring of Health as well as a Salve, though, so it's not going to be the end of the world.
That was a great play by Synderen. If he was a little closer to the Void over there, the Fissure would have followed, and a single right click would have finished him off. Provided he didn't backtrack any of those attacks.
Another good Fissure. Blocks him off a little bit. So he's not really wanting to come forward to be aggressive, but it's about to time out here. He still has mana for Time Walk, that is. But not the easiest lane for him. He's at 21-6 versus Synderen's 15-2. He's gained a lot of ground very shortly since that Earthshaker showed up.
And bot lane, we see effing Mad coming, trying to backstab Santa.
Ooh. He does have a black hole possibility. There's the Soul Ring pop to get things started, as we see of Malefice. Just level 2, he takes the damage, but he's going to run through the jungle. Great pathing for him. And he's got Tranquil Boots, so he has extra movement speed here. Really, really good pathing decision by Santa there. Kebab's not going to be able to slow him down. And that is definitely, that's always really frustrating when they run like a direction that doesn't even make sense to you. You're like, oh, he's running that way, and we're not positioned and ready for that. So really nice play there.
It is definitely one of the best things you can do when you are in that kind of situation. The first instinct is to run back to base, but base is not always the safest alternative. So, good play there by Santa, escaping that gank. We see NS waiting near top river with a troll. Should be able to pull off a gank.
Especially with this illusion, it'll be doing some extra good damage.
And tower tanking, might I add.
Not the best since they only have 530 HP, but...
Yeah, that's true, but 3 hits of tower is a lot of hits, especially.
Yeah, and he does lead them first, so this is the best thing to use illusion runes for in the early game, guys. Funzy...
Leshrac is a bit far away. Can he make it in time?
Here they go, they're going in. Oh, he's actually open. There's the first enchant, there's the first net, and the right click. The stun lands as well as the edict damage, and Funzy is screwed here. Great Sunstrike will actually split damage between NS and Scandal, and it looks like Scandal is going to live 50 HP, and he's got a ton of regen left over, so no loss at all for him there. Nice play, 2-0.
Santa getting initiated on the bot lane. Black hole pop. Can they get this kill?
Yeah, they are going to pick that up. Tinker with the Marching Machines. Oh, he's actually maxing March first, by the way.
Oh, that's something we just failed to comment on. I cannot believe I missed that.
Yeah, what is your problem, man? That was all on you.
I know.
That was your job. Look at Tinker the whole game. So maybe he'll steal the farm. That I would love to see. He's got Soul Ring first, so just completely delaying his Boots of Travel here. He might be able to just go take out the Ancients. I don't know if he's planning this on purpose, but...
It's definitely a valid strategy. It's definitely something that would really upset Beastmaster's farm, or his prospective farm for the future. However, getting there... they need to get a lot of map control so that Tinker is able to stand in the Scourge Ancient, in the Dire Ancients, and actually pull off 4 or 5 successful marches. It's not going to be safe. as it looks right now.
Yeah, and I think the main reason he is going for that build was they were a little worried about Virtus.Pro taking an early advantage in ganking, and if they started doing a lot of pushing, Tinker could just show up and do a double march and it'd be all over. You literally can't push against it. It's just not possible unless you have crap loads of range damage. If you have creeps at all, they just die, and it's a really bad situation to be in if you're trying to just push them down fast.
We see NS going for the power treads. It could indicate that usually we see a lot of enchantresses go arcane. Treads is a great option if you're looking to be viable quite far into the game. Helps you do a lot of damage with those impetus.
I think the main reason he's grabbing is because of that Tinker.
HP. Oh yeah, definitely.
It doesn't.
Enchantress's HP is really low, and laser rockets can bring you down pretty easily.
Yeah, it'll give him an extra 100 or so HP. So rather than having arcane up in
FN Mad and Kebab are smoked up right now, moving top, hopefully trying to provide some support to the Windrunner.
Looks like Enigma's going for a mechanism. Kebab no boots quite yet, as Lich is trying to initiate mid. Going to do a little bit of Frost Blast on Synderen, and he's going to be absolutely fine. Just going to heal up just a little bit here. But is Scandal going to get caught?
Are they going to catch NS in the forest?
Ooh, this could be really bad for him. He has not spotted yet, and there he is. Effie Mad comes around the corner. There's the Malefice. Might even get some good range damage as the Fissure, as well as the Sunstrike. Man, not even a Treads enchant able to survive that. As Effie Mad actually taking a lot of damage now. Edict comes through, gets the kill. Might be able to get a double, perhaps. He's going to... Okay, he hesitates for just a second. The Eidolon's taking up a lot of the damage as Kebab is going to go down. Scandal might get a triple here. Funzy's running away. Here comes the damage output. It's going to be close. The stun is going to land. Great play from Blow Your Brains Shut Up. Scandal survives. 10 HP. Barely making out. And they're going to farm Eidolons. Oh my gosh.
Big play there. Big play from Scandal. And NS, even though he died, using the Satire Hellcaller to throw out those shockwaves. That was a very important set of kills.
That was a good sacrifice. That's one of those ones where you're like, I'm not even mad I died.
Exactly.
Man, that shows you guys the scary power that is Leshrac in the jungle with a max edict. It's incredible. I mean, they casted everything that they had on Enchant to kill him, and then he just strolled in with the edict on and just started destroying kills. And his first stun, very important. Once he killed the Enigma at the start, they didn't really have any disables ready. Fissure was already used, Shackle Shot was on cooldown, so there's no way to stop Leshrac's chases. We see Kuroki take some burst damage. He is going to backtrack that Sunstrike, though. It is maxed out, 25% chance, but that would have put him a lot lower in HP, that's for sure.
Definitely. He would have to probably get a Salvin from base or something. As we see Tinker with the Boots of Travel already. I think he got it about a minute ago. So good farm from him, and this should set things in motion.
Yeah, 56 last hits, and now he's actually going to do a little bit of global TP, and as he does rearm, going to be casting some March and going back to base very shortly. So not very usual to see Tinker actually grabbing up his Boots of Travel this early in the game. It's quite significant. He might want to grab a bottle to really help offset that soaring HP reduction, but either way, he's going to be really happy right now. Can be globally ganking and pushing with his March.
And against the Leshrac, especially, keeping the 3-way push back is one of the best ways to protect your tower, especially when Edict is maxed so early and the Leshrac is getting double kills. March is a very good choice.
NS is so in trouble there. He was a little surrounded. I think, did they have a ward up even? They must have just spotted him come from mid.
That's what I love about NS. He's so offensive. That's usually you don't see support players getting caught off in such advanced positions on the map, but NS doesn't give a shit. He's going for those ganks.
Yes, exactly. He's going for those ganks. As Scandal's now pushing the top lane a little bit, Edict is going to run out though, tower down to 400 or 700 HP. He's got a point booster up as well, so this is usually the hurdle that Leshracs have to get over before they are less squishy. He's going from their Arcane Boots or their phase straight into their HP, which is going to be a point booster in this case.
Yep. And a few pings going out. A little bit of harass on Santa from Synderen. Trying to make something happen on that bot lane.
Wow, he's got some one-sided creeps here. Look at that. It's all granite golems, every single one. I've never seen that. And how many stacks does he have? That's like 3 or 4, I think. 3 or 4 stacks. Did not stack that one well enough. He doesn't actually have his soul ring quite yet, so he's a little bit behind in farm. Only 15 last hits.
I just counted 15 golems, so that's about 5 stacks.
5 stacks. It's so hard to tell, they all look the same. And I'm not racist, guys. Quit calling me racist. He's going to roar actually on the Invoker as we have Enchantress coming forward. There's Impetus, a couple right clicks as well. Lich going to do the AoE nukes. He doesn't have a Wex level yet, and he does get killed as NS. Most likely just going to heal this up just fine. So nice gank going in, picking off that important hero, which is Invoker. Level 7, he's got an Arcane Bracer, but gets killed for his first time. Oh, they want to fight though. They'll force them disable.
Rockets are gonna hit.
Shackle.
Wow, great Shackle play. Shot. Tinker Rockets max damage and the power shot to finish it off.
And Leshrac backs up, actually very low HP. Oh, they're all in a lot of trouble as Enchant does die. Santa getting out of their Leshrac as well, but Tinker really showing his power that team fight. Just casted a couple rockets safely from range and did tons of damage to the opponent team. And now they're looking like they want to take the bot tower. They will be able to clear the creep wave super easily. Effie Mad's Eidolons are here. They are maxed out. He's got a Soul Ring Mechanism at the moment, and even Kabap around with a Boots Up. So that tower is going to die super easily. Almost killed all the creeps to spawn Eidolons from, but the first tower, or second tower, is going to fall. But first tower falling for mTw.
mTw playing really well over here. They have a Tinker with the Boots of Travel at 9 minutes, so he is able to contribute a lot more than Kuroki's Void can at the moment. And another thing is that usually you have, in these situations, you have teams that usually let the hard carry farm and try to get as much map control as they can. But you see Syndren going back mid and pushing that Void back off lane, not giving him the easiest time. So applying a lot of pressure here, mTw.
Yeah, they're doing very well. I wish an Invoker was a little bit higher leveled, but the problem is that he didn't have Soul the whole game. He was in a dual lane with an Earthshaker, which is definitely going to impact things. So Goldgraph is jumping back into the raiding team's favor due to getting that tower kill, but things are pretty close. 1k difference is nothing. EXP is a slight advantage for mTw, but once again, nothing super significant. This game is still very, very close, especially because Face's Void in the late game is most likely going to be a beast.
Are we going to see Tinker steal this? Do they know about the stack? I'm pretty sure they're aware.
It's hard to say. Santa's going to continue axing it though, and there he gets a lot of golem kills, up to level 9 now, 1k gold as we see a TP. Tinker goes back mid, going to do a little bit of missile damage to Kuroki, which he will not backtrack, takes 243 from that one. Now the creep wave is going to be killed pretty early here. Oh, I love what he did here. He actually pulled the creeps back to possibly juggle them. The Sunstrike is going to take damage. Didn't really do that much though. His Exhort is still pretty low, only 225 right now.
NS attempting a gank on the top lane. Funzy sees it coming, falls back. Mid tower is going to take a fall here. Is Lich going to attempt to deny?
It's going to be a tough deny. He throws the attack, not going to catch it a little bit too late there. That would have been
massive
an
damage
epic
from
deny.
those Eidolons.
Yeah, that's true. They hit almost as hard as a hero anyways.
Yeah.
Maybe not at this point of the game, but Kuroki looks like he is going for a Battle Fury here. Oh, they are going to split. That's the worst thing ever. It's like I'm about to last at the Eidolon and then it dies. That's so frustrating. Scandal very, very far forward. Almost gets shackled here on the top lane. If he got shackled, that would have been his death for sure.
Yeah,
we've seen a Fissure, Cold Snap, maybe even a Sunstrike.
And we see Santa just clearing up those Ancients right now, already jumping up to level 9. With a Vit booster as well, so it's going to be much harder to bring him down.
And he's now a leveling Lich, getting some more EXP. What's his GPM at? 203, so definitely very low. But once he grabs these major camps, I remember every single one of these is 100. The Black Dragons at least are 200, but the large golems are about 115, I think.
Kuroki whiffs the Chronosphere. Tinker just makes it out in time.
Oh, really?
That was a big mistake. Oh, well. He went for it, he tried for it, but Tinker just pulled it out.
That's got to be
Chronosphere
rough.
on cooldown.
Top tower looks like it's going to get picked off as well, as he's going to continue farming. He's got 1k gold now. We'll probably pick up the broadsword first, but the top tower goes down, so now mTw has a 1 tower advantage. Actually, they have mid tower as well, so they actually have a 2 tower advantage at the moment.
Yeah, things are not looking good for Virtus.Pro right now. Kuroki missing that chrono is gonna have a psychological disadvantage, at least for a little bit.
And not to mention, they now know that they don't have to worry about a Chronosphere, so they're just going to push pretty heavily. And it's exactly what mTw is doing. Very, very smart play of them. They have a Force Staff up on the Tinker. He does have his bottle finished, so good positioning at least, but he's going to continue casting that March. That way, if Virtus.Pro decides to team fight, they're going to be taking a ton of AoE damage.
Smoke gang, Santa's in.
They do start off on effing mad. Here comes the Sunstrike. Shackle's going to land, though, catching a few, and Scandal goes in, but pops his mech up as the Echo Slam comes in, does a ton of damage. Black Hole's interrupted, and the missiles almost getting a couple kills here, but only losing 2 for 1. Could have gone a lot worse there for Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, definitely. They pushed them back off the tower, and they traded a Lich and a Beastmaster for an Enigma. As long as they can keep that tower safe at this point, waiting for that Chronosphere to come back online, I think that's all they care about. That trade did go in the favor of mTw though, so they're still going to be in a good position to do some damage to this tower.
They did burn the black hole at least, without accomplishing anything. Echo Slam was also used, so a lot of these cooldowns are there, as NS is continuing to pull the wave back, so doing his best to slow this push on. If they can keep this tower alive for longer, could be the Battle Fury that Kuroki needs.
Yep, and we see Enigma putting back mid, push the lane back a little bit, and harass the Void out of lane once again. I love how they're harassing the Void out of lane all the time.
We might see a team fight mid though. He's got a TP scroll. His Chronosphere's off cooldown, so could fight as we see NS almost dying to chain nukes as the cold snap is also tried to use. But it's not going to get the kill. He's going to back off, and mTw just rules their jungle right now as they might gain Kuroki. Actually, he's way caught out of position now. Here's the first Malphite. He almost time walked there. He's going to eat the second one and gets the leap off. Goes into the Roshan pit, so Roshan's going to be mad about that one. Power shot.
He backtracked the power shot, and a nice Fissure. Oh,
still got 200 HP though. Looking for the Shackle. Shackle will not latch. He's got another time walk, and he's going to make it out. That was a very good decision making going to Roshan pit though.
Yep, that was the best way he could have possibly gone.
He was so close to his Battle Fury too, look at that. That's probably why he was staying so long, because he was like, okay, I need 100 gold, and then I have a Battle Fury finished. But he's going to have to wait patiently.
And ping's going on mid lane.
He's thinking about going in. Here comes Chronosphere, catching 3 Sunstrike as well. He's going to start right-clicking. Great Shackle shot. Actually, oh, Windrunner's actually not in the Chronosphere, but the Chain Frost doing so much damage. Kuroki pops a 1, ends up dying eventually. Scandal doing some good damage out, but the laser gets the last hit. Now Santa running back. They actually lost 3 heroes there. Oh, that went badly for them.
Yep, that did go badly for Virtus.Pro. I just think that the Chronosphere could have been a little bit better. Maybe it was a bit premeditated. Waiting for some other heroes to show themselves before tapping that Chronosphere might have worked out better. However, they had to go for it, and Chain Frost and Chronosphere combo is pretty scary. Did end up taking down that Windrunner, but just the item disadvantage and the levels working against them right now.
Yeah, I love how Tinker is just spamming March right now, despite him not having a whole lot of HP. Doesn't even matter, just completely phases out Virtus.Pro. They can't come forward and defend their tower, and Invoker gets the last hit, so if that Chronosphere would have caught Windrunner as well, it could have been a lot different there.
Yeah, but the Shackle shot did shut down a lot of DPS that was coming out. Even Invoker was outside and was able to burst down the Enchantress before the Chrono got over, so the Impetus damage stopped coming in, and the battle went in the favor of the Radiant.
Kuroki will find some Eidolons at least, so he's finally going to be able to get a little bit of gold. This will put him closer to that Void Stone, but not quite there yet. As look at the courier, just absolutely waiting for this moment. He needs to get that Battle Fury up so that he can farm a little bit faster and do a little bit more damage in his Chronos.
Yes, and clear the creep waves.
Yes, that also helps.
Pushed so hard.
They push a lot harder that way. Yeah. And there it is. So Battle Fury is finished finally. Plus 65 damage. mTw continuing to push on the bot lane. Going to enchant a little bit of Forge Spirit actually.
Tinker takes down Leshrac and dies to Edict.
Go Edict. Getting that kill, so trading there. Did he have any new items? No.
NS falling to Port Spirits and a Cold Snap and a Power Shot to finish off the job. Tinker buys back. Porting bot, they want to get this tower too.
Yeah, for good reason. His farm rates are probably ridiculous anyway since he is a Tinker. What is he at GPM wise? 454 gold per minute. Buying back at this point, totally worth it. Only spends about, I guess it's about 750, but even still, now they're going to be able to take a tower from it. Now they have complete map control this game.
Santa attempting a deny with his boar doesn't really work out when the whole team is there beating on the tower.
Yeah.
Although that would have been epic. It's worth an attempt.
And Kuroki's going to pick up his haste rune as he shifts towards the top lane. Might jump on Shocksky. I don't think he can get a solo kill, but he's going to try to do the damage. There's a time walk and the Force Staff away. If he can get some bashes, he's going to be looking good. Laser's going to really mess him up, though. As he might Chronos through this. He's going to wait for the TP. There's the Chrono. Now right-clicking, doing the damage. He does switch to Agility Treads, and a couple more hits he's going to have. He might Force Staff, though. You need another time walk, and he... Oh, no. Hesitates for a second, goes down, and another Force Staff from Shocksky, and there we go. Soaring. Last hit, Kuroki gets it a little bit. No, he's fine, but nice kill.
Great play there by the Tinker. Really, really fast Force Staffs. Almost made it out, where he really shouldn't have had a chance to begin with.
Did he rearm his Force Staff again when he was on the low ground? Is that what happened?
Yes, yes. Okay. As soon as he went downhill, he started a rearm, and as soon as the time walk landed, he tried to get out, but he didn't get far enough. I think he was still slowed from the time walk.
And he did pop his Soul Ring, which might have been a mistake as well, right before he got
Yes.
killed. I don't know if
I
that
don't
was
think he
worth
had
it.
mana otherwise to use.
Laser probably is what he was thinking. So, yeah, if you do use that laser, it does give him 100% miss chance for 3 seconds, which would have been great to prevent those bashes. And he's currently got 3 levels of time lock, so it's just going to get nastier and nastier from this point on. But what build do you think he's going to go? Do you think he's going to go for like a BKB Mask of Madness, or maybe more of a Manta or something?
I think he is going to pick up a little bit of DPS to start with. I don't think a BKB is going to serve him too well because his attack speed is not the greatest right now. Even if he does pull off a really good Chronosphere, without a Yasha at least, he's not going to be able to dish out enough damage to win fights. We see Leshrac with the Bloodstone completed, so that's going to be a lot of mana, a lot more damage coming out of him.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit more delayed than he expected it to be, though. He did disassemble his Arcane Boots, picks up that Bloodstone, so... But he's got good HP and good regen at the moment. Definitely needs a BKB after this, though, especially with an Earthshaker in the game. Not in Tinker, all of these heroes. Tons of huge magic nukers. If Virtus.Pro basically just stacks BKBs on all of their core heroes, I think it's going to make a big difference. But they actually don't have that many BKB heroes now that you look at it. I mean, Lich, Beastmaster rarely grabs BKB. Looks like he's going to go for a Hood instead, or Pipe.
Santa's farm is amazing for a long lane solo. He has a Hood and a Vit Booster completed at 23 minutes. I guess that's what you should expect from a player of his caliber, and also a Beastmaster that's been stacking Ancients for the past 15 minutes or so.
And that does give him his Pipe, so great item choice. Tranquil Boots into a Vitality Booster, Pipe, and a Soul Ring. So pretty good HP, good resistance and survivability. And that Pipe is going to be very, very important when they end up team fighting the Tinker. That's 400 HP on everybody that surely is going to be used because of the Marching Machines.
Invoker picks up his Hex. Wow.
Invoker does? Wow,
yes.
24 minutes. So he went straight Arcane Hex.
That is a great pickup. Wow. I'm curious to see how Virtus.Pro is gonna try and win the team fights, or even win the skirmishes right now. The mTw's heroes just have so many items, so many key items. You have the Force Staff on Windrunner, you have the Mech on Enigma, the Pipe soon to be completed on Enigma, and sitting on a Vit Booster too, so it's gonna be very hard to bring him down.
Yeah, they definitely have a gold advantage for sure. We have some core items up on Virtus.Pro as well. The Mech is up on the Lich at least, but everybody else looks a lot more sparse, and that's because of a gold disadvantage.
Yeah, NS has been sitting on the treads for a good while. I think he has been warding as well, so he is forgiven. However, it is going to be not. I won't be surprised to see him going down very early in the fight.
It's all going to come down to Chronospheres, pretty much.
Definitely, that's the only thing that they can rely on right now. And looking at the number of Force Staffs they have on the Radiant side, it's going to be very hard to pull off a 4-man chrono or a 5-man chrono.
You know that Force Staff doesn't work in chrono anymore, right?
I mean, you can Force Staff when you know, but if you have a feeling that the Void might initiate or something like that.
Yeah, these players have such good reaction times. They are going to see a ping as they push up to the high ground. As you see Axis clear the creep wave just a little bit here. One Observer Ward is placed from the Radiant. They probably are aware of this, but can they afford a Sentry is the real question. I don't really know if they can. Do they have Blink Daggers on anybody? Oh, Blink on Earthshaker, so we will be seeing an epic Epicenter possibly, but...
Echo Slam.
Echo Slam.
Yeah.
Whoops. One of those epic ultis.
Earthshaker is smoked right now, trying to stay out of sight. Void Spirits and Eidolons getting cleared up by the Axes, but it's very hard to outpush March of the Machines.
Ooh, Shackle on NS though. Power Shot is well. He's taking a little bit of damage, they're not going to jump on it though. And Void is still farming, keep that in mind guys. So while they are spending this time, Void's up to 3,500 gold, and I don't it's got to be a BKB. Surely he's buying a BKB.
Yes, I think he might be even saving a little bit of money for a buyback so he can get an item as well as have money for a buyback. Because if he dies right now, then you're probably going to lose racks, and he doesn't want that to happen.
Yeah, so at the very least, going to try to split push here, taking out our threat in the racks. We do see one TP back, and it looks like mTw is actually going to give up from this push, so VP has officially defended it, and they're not happy with it. So not able to push in there. Virtus.Pro is able to slow things down. They have Lightning Max on Leshrac, which surely helps a lot, clears that creep wave. And despite them being able to just absolutely destroy the creep wave with the Marching Machines, they don't have anything to tank themselves, so kind of puts them in a bad spot. They can't really push in, as Synderen might get caught here. Are they going to see him? Oh, no, they used Enchant on the Forge Spirit instead. It's a tough loss. That would have been a huge slow.
Yeah, and now we see Tinker with enough money to pick up his Mystic Staff, and 2 hexes, or rather...
4 hexes, you mean?
5 hexes from Tinker and 1 hex from Invoker. You know, potentially, but it's going to be a great pickup. And Faces Void does pick up the BKB. good item choice, considering the amount of stuns and disables on the Radiant side.
Yeah, doesn't really increase his damage by a whole lot, but it's pretty much necessity, guys. If he uses a Chronosphere and he gets disabled in the Chronosphere, it wastes it so hard, unless it's like your whole team is on the outside attacking in. So, BKB, very, very important here. He's probably going to grab an attack speed item after this fact, whether it's going to be a Mask of Madness or maybe something like a Yasha, who knows, but it all comes down to how aggressive and how much luck he wants to depend on, because Mask of Madness can be a mistake sometimes. If you take too much Focus Fire, it sucks.
Definitely. I'm not the greatest fan of Mask of Madness, although in some cases I feel that it does do a lot of good, especially when you land those big chronos with the Battle Fury. I would like to see him get a Yasha right now, maybe for a bit more disruption in team fights once he picks up that Manta. We might even see him go straight into a Demon Edge or an Eagle Horn or something like that if he does choose to do so.
That would be really good as well. If you went straight Butterfly after this, gives you that evasion. I mean, especially with Invoker, Forge Spirits, Tinker doing similar things. MKB might also be really good though because of Laser. And it kind of comes down to what you want to do. Do you want that True Strike so you don't have to worry about Laser? Or do you want that really, really high survivability and attack speed from the Butterfly? But we'll see what he goes for. And he might just do the easy way. It could all depend on how things go. If things keep going pretty even for Virtus.Pro, he may go for the more, the less risky pick. If they're behind, I think a Mask of Madness is going to be expected.
Enigma throwing a stun off on Santa. It's a bit ahead.
No Shackle landing. So, that was close.
Pipe up on Enigma. That's going to be key against the Lich ult.
Yeah, that's very true. As Croaky is still farming, he's on the top lane, ready to TP at any time. He's got 900 gold. And mTw is about to push in. The Forge Spirits are up. Missiles are still lowering the HP of Virtus.Pro, but luckily they are surviving a lot of the damage and doing a little bit of range damage with the Forge Spirits. One of the nice things about Invoker. But Croaky's still pushing.
That's what I feel that that mTw need to do now. Just my opinion, but I feel that they should stay over here, pressure this tower with the long-range Forge Spirits for as much as they can. Send the Eidolons in there to do a bit of damage and slowly wear away at the tower. They have the Tinker to go and defend any other towers of theirs that are being pushed, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And giving the Void time to farm is something that they might end up regretting. See what Kuroki can
do with his next gold purchase.
Yes.
It's seriously, guys, it's coming down to the next team fight. If Virtus.Pro can trade evenly or in an advantage in the next team fight, that could be it for mTw, as they are going to pop the pipe and they are going to be going in. If you look at the graph, it's not shifting a whole lot, and NS is going to do an enchant on one of the Forge Spirits at least, so they can't use that offensively. He's going to use it to kill the other Forge Spirit, which will end up getting picked up.
BKB up on Leshrac as well, so we can count on him running in there. Doing some big damage.
He's got to still be careful with those Forge Spirits, keep that in mind. They lower armor, so if Leshrac has Magic Immunity and high HP but no armor, he'd still die super fast. But they do have Lich, keep that in mind as well. 7 armor for all of their allies, that's going to make a big difference, actually.
Yep. And the Roar.
They're going in, they do Roar on top of the Enigma. Chain Frost coming through as well as BKB actually up on Void. He still's in Chrono, yet he is going to cast it, catches Synderen as well as Shoxia. Perfect initiation from Virtus.Pro as they're going after the Windrunner now. They lost 3 heroes already. Nobody from Virtus.Pro has died, and he does have the Mask of Madness up, so huge attack speed trying to catch this Windrunner. She does have a 4-staff and 10. First bash, couple more hits trying to get in front of her. Needs more bashes as she's about to use one of her great Shackle. Enchant gets used though, so she is very slow, and so far Virtus.Pro is in such an advantage right now with that huge team fight win.
That just turned the tide of the fight. Enigma getting caught out initially without being able to pull off the black hole, and a good chrono and big damage coming in from Leshrac and Void secures them 3 kills, was it?
Yeah, that was so big. Enigma, and then they got Invoker and the Tinker, I believe. And I'd like to point out Kuroki's awesome play there. He didn't just pop Chronosphere at the start. He jumped in, popped the BKB, popped the Mask of Madness, killed Enigma first, and then he looked for the Chronosphere. He didn't just jump the gun there. He knew he had an easy kill on the Enigma, just had to right-click him. He didn't have to rely on his Chrono for that one. So Virtus.Pro is able to win a big team fight. Let's look at the gold graph. I bet the EXP graph is the one to look at. Look at that. I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, that is a massive shift. At this point, killing a Tinker, an Invoker, and the Enigma.
Oh, it reflected again. It went down to 5k, not 2.5. That is absolutely huge advantage. That's what happens when you're behind for a long time and you eventually catch up. As we do see an enchant on Synderen, he is going to get to the low ground though, and Kuroki not able to catch him. So that was definitely very close. But gold graph Look at that, jumps down by about 2k. So Virtus.Pro basically, or mTw basically has about 2 team fights before the game gets out of hand. If they lose 2 more team fights, Virtus.Pro is going to take a large advantage, and then they're going to be up against the Faceless Void hard carry, which is going to be really, really tough for them to beat.
They do have tools to counter a Faceless Void. The Tinker with the Hex completed right now. They can shut him down potentially, but it's going to be very hard because once those Chronos land and the BKB gets popped, you're looking at losing at least 1 or 2 heroes right off the bat, and no team wants that to happen.
Beastmaster actually almost going down, did get caught, but he is tanky as hell. He's got a Chainmail up plus tons of survivability. Chainmail plus that Frost Armor, I might point out. That was like the tankiest Beastmaster I've ever seen right there.
And he is going for a Blade Mail, if I'm correct.
Ooh, looks like it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Almost never see Blade Mail in pro games, as the creep wave is going to get piped up a little bit, so they're going to try to take the tower here. Is Kuroki going to TP? Actually, Scandal is, and so is Kuroki as the team fight about to start. Santa's actually got no man, and he doesn't have his ulti either. Chronosphere comes in, does catch 3. BKB going in on the Enigma as he does Black Hole it. Nobody to interrupt it quite. Here comes the stun. That's going to stop the stun, but the Echo Slam comes in. Actually doesn't do any damage as effing man now dropping Kuroki, taking the focus fire. He might have to buy back here as he is going to get picked off, and he is not bought back there. He's finally buying back. Windrunner goes down, now going after the Tanker, and that's the only person up for mTw. Virtus.Pro, the stun is going to miss. He rearms actually, but the damage output may be enough. Oh, the pig lands the slow, and one right click picks him off, and Virtus.Pro wins another team fight. The only hero they lost was that Faceless Void, who immediately bought back, and now they're going to take a Roshan.
That was a team wipe from mTw. Great play again by Kuroki, pulling off a Chrono on 3 and then deciding to go after the Enigma. And he knew that if he was to go after the Enigma, he would have to be forced to use his Black Hole. Probably not exactly when he wanted to, and it ended up working out great for them. Great play also by the Tinker over there, going into the little bit of fog in between the trees, rearming and then force staffing out. If not for the boar hit, he would have definitely made it out.
Yeah, it was definitely very close. I also, Lich going for a Vlad's Aura. Love this pickup.
Oh, wow.
He's got decent HP, he's got a drum and a mech, so his HP is pretty reasonable, and this will give lifesteal to Void, not to mention the important part, 5 armor to all of his allies. And if you're up against Forged Spirits, that's so valuable, because there's so many times where Forged Spirits just ping down your low HP heroes as they do roar on effing Mad. Kuroki also popping a BKB Master Madness, he wants the bashes, and he does the damage. Effing Mad gets dropped, and another kill on Enigma here. Even Blade Mail being used on Santa to try to protect himself and reflect that damage.
I would have expected Santa to go for the Vlads, considering he does have a Tranquil Boots, which you can disassemble. Well, Shackle Shot on Void, Fisher to follow.
Cold Snap as well, he's gonna be fine though. He's got Backtrack, he's pretty much invulnerable anyways.
Backtrack is so good.
Power Shot does 0 damage. Missiles, oh, I was hoping that would do damage. He's invincible. Cannot die. Is Kuroki thinking about going? He does have Chronosphere. Do they realize?
Frost Armor on a Void is pretty scary.
He's going in. Chrono, oh, does just catch Cinder and Windrunner looking for the Shackle. He does get Hex. His BKB still on cooldown as they try to pick off Cinder, and Mask of Madness finally being used, and Kuroki is going to pay for this one, but he will be able to respawn. Reflects a lot of damage. Kabap actually has a bad initiation there. Enchant and a little bit impetus damage as he force staffs back. And Santa looking for a disable. He's got 10 seconds to roar, and they do pick off the Earthshaker as well there. Sloppy initiation from Kabap, which just may cost them this team mid tower.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And second tier 2 tower is gonna fall. Tinker trying to do as much as he can to push them back, but it doesn't look like it's gonna stop them from claiming this tower.
Well, Shackle is gonna go down. Santa taking some focus fire. Might need a Blade Mail here. See if he turns it on in time. It's a little bit late, but he does get the roar off on the Enigma at least, and pops his Blade Mail last second. He ends up surviving just barely 70 HP, and Kuroki wants to kill BKB and the Mask of Madness, but he's going to have to back off now. Slight mistake there. Now BKB down to 6-second cooldown. Another Shackle laser as well. Kuroki's going to get picked off. That Mask of Madness absolutely increasing that damage taken there. No backtracks for him.
Incredible burst damage over there. No backtracks, and Mask of Madness was on, so he dropped very, very fast. Leshrak's gonna pull it out after doing a lot of damage to the bot tower.
And nice plays from Virtus.Pro now winning 22-14. If we look at the gold graph, it's back in their favor finally. Hugely over the hump here. And the XP graph, wow, extremely in their favor, winning team fight after team fight. Look at all these kills for them. Only person that's died now is Faceless Void, who has gone cooldown. He's got to be feeling crappy about that one, but he does have 2,300 gold as well. So What do you think he should grab at this point? Maybe Butterfly? Necro 3 is a possibility. I know some teams were doing that, Necro 3 and the Chrono.
Yes, the Necronomicon minions do function inside a Chronosphere, I believe.
Yep, in Dota 2 at least. I don't know if that's the case in Dota 1.
I think it does so in Dota 1 as well. I think any player-controlled units, whether it be Necro and...
Helm the Dominator?
I'm not sure about that, but I know that Manta Illusions and Necronomicon does work in Chrono.
Yeah.
But I think he might go for a tier 4, like straight up Butterfly or a Monkey King Bar maybe. Although there is no dodge on the Radiant side except for the Windrunner, so you might see him pick up an MKB.
I think a Butterfly might be his best option, to be honest.
It definitely could, yeah.
That evasion is going to make such a big difference. I mean, they don't have a hard carry, so if you can get yourself more evasion, or maybe just some kind of HP like a heart or something, you don't have to worry about getting out-carried in physical DPS, so maybe it'd just be better off for him to have tons and tons of HP instead.
You might even see him go for the crit.
Yeah, the Brizza, possibly.
Yeah.
Or Daedalus, I'm sorry. It's called
Daedalus
now.
Right. Come on, Purge. I'm supposed to be making
rusty.
that mistake.
I'm the rusty Dota 2 caster. This is my first game, guys. I've never casted a game before. I hope I don't suck too bad.
Big push on bot lane. Tower is gonna fall. Can they pick up a Rax here? There's gonna be TPs coming in.
Yeah, Virtus.Pro is not prepared for that one. A little bit weird as, yeah, they might even lose a Rax here. No, their Rax is gonna be fine, but they take the tower pretty easily. I don't really know how they got caught off guard there, but apparently mTw sneaking in, taking the tower. So.
Now this is quite dangerous since you have an Invoker with Fort Spirits as well as a Tinker. They have to constantly monitor this bot lane lest they get Raxed out of the blue.
Ooh, Leshrac has his Aghanim Scepter up with 14 Bloodstone charges.
Big damage.
AoE damage, that is. As we see a Cold Snap on Santa, but he's going to back off. Going to get one missile here, as well as NS. NS so squishy. Saw this last time. I believe it was Dare played against a Tinker. Enchantress was just food all game. Just doesn't have burst. She doesn't have regen over time is the problem. The heal is great for burst fights, but if she's just taking missiles slowly, it's just not enough survivability.
Yeah, that's why I remember Puppy's Enchantress going mech, Arcane mech, which is a pretty good option, I feel. Shackle is gonna land on Rexar and Lich. They're not gonna go in.
And is playing really, really dangerously here. He's missing half of his HP. He does use his heal, so he's gonna heal his allies.
That's the advantage of a point booster. That item is really, really good.
Yeah. Very cost efficient. As we do see a Roar on Shocksky, actually, the rest of the team fight coming forward. As we do see a Shackle on 2 years, Void is going to Chronosphere, pops the BKB as well. A little bit of a weird Chronosphere, but they are going to be able to pick off that Tinker right at the start of the team fight. So at least taking that advantage as they might pursue as well. Might catch Kabap, who is going to blink very soon. Axe is going to disable it. Slight mistake from him, but I think he's going to be able to get the blink in a second, and he does get away. Taking some creep damage, but he's going to be fine there. As they might shift bottom and grab Cinderin. They're actually sitting in kind of weird spots here, but no, they are going to run away, so they're fine. And Chronosphere used to kill one hero, but it was the Tinker. That's probably the most important hero to pick off because that March of the Machines, not to mention that Hex spam, that's going to be so annoying.
And a very good awareness from Kuroki, noticing that the Tinker was slightly forward and none of his teammates were in position to be able to help him out with any kind of disables. And I don't even think they wanted to enter the Chrono at that point, so it's definitely worth it picking up a Tinker in a Chrono at this point in the game. So much disable coming out of the Tinker, so much push as well as damage over time with those constant rockets.
Yep.
It gives them a little bit of breathing room. They can venture out of their base just because of that one kill. Grab a bit more farm in jungle, the supports get a bit more items. So yeah, great choice by Kuroki, showing us all that he definitely hasn't lost it.
Yeah, I mean, if they just get one kill on an important hero, it's exactly the point. One kill, it's a 5v4, and they're not willing to push. And they're like, well, we lost Tinker. Maybe we could fight, but we'd be 4v5 now. And that was probably one of our most important heroes. So it's if they just continue to pick off one hero at a time, just delays the game. And Void's going to get harder and harder into the carry potential. And he does have a Demon Edge, by the way. So it looks like he is going for either a Daedalus or an MKB. Could be Divine Rapier. What do you think? This is a game to gamble on, right? The international qualifier? Yeah.
mTw smoked up in bot lane, but they're not gonna find anyone. But yeah, like as you were saying, I really think that Void is one of those heroes where you really expect him to be looking for those 4 or 5 man chronos. So you really surprise your opponent when you pull off the 1 man chrono and no one's in position to help him.
And they might actually see a team fight here. Santa gets initiated on one hex, goes down. We have 3 hexes now on mTw, but Funzy taking a ton of AoE damage from this Leshrac. He will go down. Black Hole catching 2 heroes as well, but Santa's still alive. Kabap gets the Echo Slam followed. Chain Frost coming through though. It's going to jump to some Ancients here as it does do a little damage. Great balances, but Kuroki shows up using that Mask of Madness. Hasn't even popped his BKB here and cleans up mTw. 4 dead, 27 to 14. And I dare say we are very, very close to a GG.
Yes, and I really don't like that choice by, well, it was a very good offensive choice. I mean, it was a very offensive choice, which I always like, but running uphill with your wind running on, losing a wind runner at the start of the fight, probably not exactly what you want to happen.
Yeah, it was not a good team fight for mTw as Enchantress up to 2600 gold, Kuroki now at 37. He does have that MKB ready to go, but he's going to probably wait for buyback as they have items coming forward. Boots of Travel and a heart for somebody. Oh, it's going to be a heart on Beastmaster. Awesome. Heart, pipe, and a blade mail.
So much tank. They cannot even hope to bring down that Beastmaster.
He's going to leap in looking for Kabap, but Kabap blinks away just in time. Kuroki needed 1 hit to get that kill.
This is going to be a Rax, easily.
Yeah, Midrax taking the damage, couple right clicks happening. Sacrifice as well as Lich sits in the back, great positioning on him. Still has that Vlad's up, point booster as well. Midrax drops, they're trying to take 2 here, and I think they could totally even still fight in the enemy base. They won't have Chronosphere, but they do have Beastmaster Roar, so at the very least there's that. Santa gets jumped on, but he is the tankiest one of all of them. Deafening Blast going to stop their attacks for a second to see a Roar on Funzy follow-up stun. As Kuroki BKBs, no, he gets Hex right before his BKB, but so far it doesn't matter. As we see the output from Scandal and air missiles coming through as well, it's going to force them back a slight amount, but they might be able to get the second Rax. If they can take the second Rax, they'll be huge, but the Hex on Scandal almost going down, but still alive as Kuroki BKB is finally going in on the Tinker as the Fissure also lands, trying to pick off Scandal. It's going to be close, but so far he's surviving, turns on his ulti, and good game is called by Cinderin as they still eke out the team fight win.
Great fight there, and a very good coordination between Kuroki and Blow Your Brain, might I add. They've been timing that Chain Frost along with the time walks perfectly. So the slow lands and Void gets a free 3 or 4 hits with his Battle Fury, doing a lot of damage. And I think one of the main factors that contributed to the loss over here for mTw is maybe they got a bit too eager and out of position in their pushing. And also that most of their damage is damage over time. Rather, their initiate damage isn't as great as they hoped it would be. Tinker doing a lot of damage with those with the March and the rockets, but not fast enough when compared to the Void and the Lich.
Yeah.
Great game from Virtus.Pro, showing us all that they're even with stand-ins, they can 2 stand-ins.
This is at 3/5 of our real strength, guys.
Yeah.
But either way, those Empire players played very well. Blow Your Brain as well as Scandal played excellently there. 11, 2, and 14 on Leshrac. Void did go for a Daedalus with a Sanjin Yasha, which I did not catch at the end of the game. So thanks for tuning, guys. We'll be back in just a second with Game 2. This is the International West Qualifiers. My name's Purge, and thank you for joining me in Memoria. We're going to be here pretty much most of the day. These are best of 3s, so this is going to be Game 2 in a second. We have 3 more best of 3s after that, so make sure that you guys stay tuned for more awesome Dota content.